No amount of money gonna get you internet in North Korea. If you have access to internet, you get executed. And that is a reality for North Korean people right now. Hi everyone! Welcome to my channel. My name is Yeonmi Park and I'm a North Korean defector and a human rights activist. So today in this video, I'm going to talk about top 6 things you cannot buy in North Korea. So living in this 21st century, after living in America for 5 years, it's very hard for me to imagine, is there such a thing that we cannot buy with money? And all I could think of was actually love, right? Maybe health. That's all I could think of, the things that we cannot buy with money. But in North Korea, the things that we take for granted, there's so many things that you cannot buy in North Korea with money. So, number 1, that would be condoms. So in North Korea, we don't talk about those intimacy openly, but this is a product that you cannot buy with money because nobody sells it. I'm sure if in Pyongyang elite, maybe you may somewhere you get it, but in the commoners, 99% population do not have access to these contraceptive devices. The reason is because in North Korea, nobody is able to afford to throw something away after using once. So, I come to America, there's so many products that you use once, like chopsticks, when you get Chinese delivery, spoons you use once and they throw away. I literally remember I was so shocked. They are perfectly fine plastic spoons and wooden chopsticks. And Americans will just use once and throw them away. This is really land of abundance. But in North Korea, that's like unheard of. I actually even heard of some story from my mother that somebody who went to abroad and brought one condom and they used definitely more than one time. So don't ask me why, but that's how poor North Korea is. And normal people have no access to the condom. And it's very sad because more women, the things that liberate women, North Korean women do not have access to them. And this is really related to number 2. Number two thing that you cannot buy in North Korea, that is sanitary pads. In North Korea, we don't even, we don't know what, using once and throwing away that concept. So usually what we do when we get periods is we cut down blanket or any cotton on any shirt that we don't use. And we use it and wash it again and it leaks. Whenever your period comes, we cannot go outside. That, so much restriction on women when this thing happens. And because of no condoms and no sanitary pads, women actually taking aspirins. If they're rich, they can afford to buy aspirin. They use that as a contraceptive device. And that's how North Koreans do not get any benefit from these modern devices. Number 3 is no fast food in North Korea. I recently saw there's some few spots coming up in Pyongyang, but still for 98% of the population do not even know what fast food is. And this really shocked me when I came to America. I couldn't believe there was such a thing called good food and bad food. And I was in New York and I asked somebody what does that mean, Whole Foods, right? In New York there's a grocery store called the Whole Foods. And is there such a food that is not whole? And they were like, it means it's not processed, it's a whole ingredient. And I was like, isn't any food that? So it took a long time for me. It's still having a hard time to understand the, whole food and fast food that is an empty calorie. And in North Korea, we cannot even afford the fast food. And I really sometimes wonder, I think any kind of food is good, right? It's all about your choice of what you decide to eat. And, in a way, that number 1 problem that you are never going to have in North Korea is that you will never be exposed to, inorganic food. Everything gonna be organic and everything is not processed and everything gonna be wonderful food. And number 4, which is internet. guys, can you imagine life without internet right now? I mean, like, how am I even talking to you today without internet, right? Even you are so rich in North Korea, even though you are so powerful government officer, you got everything, no amount of money gonna get you internet in North Korea. And that's why we should be so grateful living in freedom. Anybody can have access to internet here. So because the regime really makes sure that nobody can get the actual idea what's happening outside of the world, because I mean, they're brainwashing in order for that to work, right? They have to cut the outside information going into the country. And that's why even though no amount of money gonna get you buying your internet in North Korea, there are instances that some people in North Korea actually have internet, and those are the ones that have a government permit in Pyongyang. Like, only few people in North Korea have access to internet, and that is Kim Jong-un and few people working for him. And other than that, if you have access to internet, you get executed. And that is a reality for North Korean people right now. It's unbelievable that there is a place that we cannot reach through technology and internet right now, but North Korea is still a black hole of information and any kind of modern technology. And lastly, the number 6, that is warm water. So, whenever I wake up in the morning, of course, my morning routine is jumping into shower, right? My warm water. I love taking shower. I take like 2 showers a day. And I keep saying, like, I make up the time that when I didn't have a shower when I was growing up in North Korea. So even though you're a very rich person in North Korea, there is no central heating because there's no electricity, no gas coming into your house. Even though you are living in a high rise in Pyongyang, the warm water and a lot of times the cold water doesn't work. You have to go down. Imagine you are living in the 50th floor in Pyongyang, the high rise. You have to walk down 50th floor. That's what a lot of North Korean elites do, and go to the river and go to the well and bring the drinking water. And you have to bring the firewood and heat them up to warm the water. So it's a weird miracle for me to whenever I just open my sink and the warm water just comes out of it. This is like usually one of the miracles that North Koreans say, that it's like whenever you turn up the switch, the electricity comes, and whenever you turn up the sink, the water comes out. And this is something not only the commoners, like the average people don't have access to, even the rich people cannot afford to have the warm water because no infrastructure is working for this kind of thing. And a lot of even the tourists in Western tourists go to North Korea to visit North Korea, and their complaints are in their hotel they would give the warm water like maybe 30 minutes a day in like every 3 days. Not only that, they just like put all the water in a tank because the water doesn't come in the 5-star hotel for the white people to visit, right? And even that hotel, they cannot afford the warm water. So it's a very rare thing that we have right now here. I hope that this video really helped you to understand how different world that we are in right now with North Koreans, and you maybe get a glimpse of what the daily life would be for these people who are living in this darkness. And also really see what a miracle that is. We are living in this prosperous free country, that we have access to internet, we have access to sanitary pads. Even you have no idea what liberation that is for a woman to have, and for lovers to even to have, So I love you so much, guys. Please hit that like button and share this video with everybody that you know, and join me on my Patreon and get the signed copies for holiday gifts. I look forward to seeing you all in the next video, guys. Love you. Bye.